Welcome to all, croeso cynnes I chi gyd. I'm going to pass straight over to my colleague David, and he's going to get things underway for us today. Thank you.
Excellent, Ellen. Thank you very much. I see people from all over the world coming to see us today. A warm welcome to you to today's Aberystwyth University's webinar on University Societies. Before starting, let me introduce, well, we've seen Ellen before. She's a current student with us in Aberystwyth, who's also working part-time as a student recruitment officer. My name is David. I'm also a student recruitment officer working across Wales. I'm also a former student at Aberystwyth University, and I studied Welsh here many, many years ago. So here's a brief overview of what we're going to try to cover during the webinar this evening. So firstly, why is joining a society a good choice? Then we'll have some top tips and advice from Ellen. We then have some information from our Students' Union Society's coordinator, a chat with a member of the Animal and Veterinary Society, some information from a member of the Aber Conservation Society, and then we can explore how to set up your own society. And lastly, there'll be a chance for you to get involved at the end with a question and answer session. I can't say question and answer session very, very quickly. It's one of those tongue twisters, but there we are, a question and answer session. Our subject for this session is the societies available to you in university and what they offer you in terms of experience and opportunities. Now, the plethora of societies available to you in university vary from each establishment to the next, and some of you may find in one university they may not exist in others. But that shouldn't deter you from applying to university. And anyway, what's to stop you from starting your own society? However, one thing is certain. Joining societies in university help you to enrich your experiences at university, from allowing you to perhaps experience new sports and activities, expand your ideas, meet new friends, and achieve long-term goals. You might also want to develop your understanding of the subject you're studying by joining, for example, an academic society, or develop your skills at debating, improve your artistic skills, or contribute as a volunteer to your town, city, or campus. If so, there should be a society in university that allows you to explore these passions. So a few things you might like to consider before joining a society, and these could include: 1. What are your hobbies and interests? Are you keen to make friends quickly? And do you want to try something new? As I said, I was a student at Aberystwyth University many, many moons ago, and as well as competing in a variety of sports from rugby, football, water polo even, yes, I did do that. I also joined the Welsh Students' Union in Aberystwyth, IMCA, Undeb Myfyrwyr Cymraeg Aberystwyth, and I also competed for Aelwyd Pantycelyn in a variety of competitions, from choir singing to folk dancing, something I'd never done before, and I also got my one and only chance in the limelight when I played guitar in a band in my first inter-college competition called an Eisteddfod. Needless to say, it was also my last experience as a lead guitarist. Now today, we'll be talking to a number of people from a variety of backgrounds about their experiences of university societies. From those who work alongside societies here in Aberystwyth to promote them to students, both in English and in Welsh, and also to one student who decided that the society that she wanted wasn't here, so she started her own. As Ellen has alluded right at the start as well, before we start, we'll have a question and answer session. I said it slowly, at the end of the session. But if you feel like asking a question, you can either let us know through the chat function. I see that people have been putting up already. Put any questions through the chat function that you'd like to ask, or drop a question in the chat box, and myself, Ellen, or one of the guests will answer you. And before starting, I'd like to thank our guests at the start of the presentation for imparting your knowledge and experience And also I'd like to thank the Channel Talent team for your continued support in providing Aberystwyth with this great platform. So over to Ellen.
Oh, thank you very much, Dav. I'm sure that was a really useful introduction for everybody to listen to. So thank you for that. So here at Aber, our Students' Union offers over 80 different societies. So they vary from academic subjects to faith and culture, gaming, skill-based, just for fun, lifestyle, politics, literature, and much, much more. If one of the 80 societies that we have available don't appeal to you, then that's absolutely no problem at all, because you are able to set up your own society. And Catherine, one of us this evening, is going to talk us through the various different steps that you take in order to do so. So I've come up with a couple of top tips that I thought that I should be a current student myself. I remember the daunting prospect of seeing such a long list of societies and wondering which ones I wanted. So I've just got some 4 quick top tips here that I'm going to share with you. So number 1 is don't rush into joining every society. Obviously, that is going to be completely impossible for you to do. So my advice would be to just join what you fancy doing. And by doing that, I would recommend that you create a list of your top 5 societies that are of interest to you before Freshers Week. And then during Freshers Week, attend the Freshers Fairs to be able to go and see the various different stands, speak to some current members and also maybe some of the people that are on the committees. And don't be afraid to push yourself to try something new. When you go to university, it's all about developing as an individual. So trying something new is really a good option. Now then, I'm sure you've already had enough of listening to David and myself. You're here to get into the nitty-gritty of what it's like to be part of various different clubs and societies. And we're really lucky that we've got a fantastic panel today that are hopefully going to be willing to share their experiences with us. So we've got Tom Morrissey. He is our Students' Union Societies Coordinator. Do you want to just come on the mic and say a quick hi to everyone, please, Tom?
Hey everyone, yeah, welcome, Croeso. Hope you get what you want from this evening and enjoy it, and I look forward to answering your questions and telling you about it.
Brilliant, thank you, Tom. We're then going to speak to Rebecca Howarth. Now, Rebecca is also a current student and she's part of the Animal and Veterinary Society. Rebecca, would you like to say hi?
Hi, thank you all for coming this evening.
Brilliant, thanks Rebecca. Then I'm going to speak to Olga, who is a member of the Aber Conservation Volunteers. Do you want to just say a quick hi, please, Olga?
Hello.
Brilliant, thank you. And lastly, but by no means least, we've got Catherine, who decided last year that she was going to set up her own improvisation society. So she's going to be sharing some of her own experiences of going through those steps and how to set up your own society. So do you want to just say a quick hello as well, Catherine?
Hi everyone, I look forward to chatting with you guys a bit later.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all for just coming over the mic very quickly. So this next part of the webinar, as you've probably already gathered, is going to be all about speaking to our guests. So I'm going to kick it off and speak to Tom, if that's okay. So Tom, would you like to start by explaining your role at the Students' Union to the audience, please?
Yeah, of course. Hey everyone. So my job can get quite diverse and it gets quite interesting. We have a bunch of different groups from what you saw in the list before. But I think I'll start a bit bigger picture quickly is SUs are there to benefit you in your time as being a student. And at Aberystwyth, we want students to love their student life and be ready for anything afterwards. And student groups play a large part in that. A large part of my role is supporting the groups. We have over 80 different student groups here, so it can get quite fertile. And I just help them with promoting themselves, getting participants, growing them, developing their transferable skills to the members and the committee themselves. But I also sit within the opportunities team in the SU. So we do some big events like Varsity, which is our annual competition against Bangor. We have smaller events like Super Challenge, Aber Challenge. We have our super team. So there's always something going on in Aberystwyth, and you'll find that across most universities. There's always something for you to get involved with. And a lot of that comes out of the opportunities teams. So, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with us, Tom. What sort of impact do you see being a member of society has on students, just generally, and maybe a little bit more specific in Aber as well?
I think generally it can make your student experience an unforgettable one. That's probably one thing we say to everyone. Everything from the people you meet, the experiences you have, the memories you make, being involved in a student group can be one of the most rewarding things you do at university. For me, it's really rewarding seeing students grow in themselves and develop from when they first arrive at university. We often see fairly reserved individuals in a completely new place, getting to know a completely new way of life, but they can find something they're really passionate about and grow with it. It also helps set them up for the future. Many of our groups, without realising, bestow skills, experiences and knowledge on their members that go a long way in improving their employability. And overall, student groups work hard, especially in Aber, I'm a bit biased, but to make the place a welcoming place and offer a variety of experiences to the student community. So there's no downside to getting involved in student groups in my eyes.
Brilliant. It sounds to me like it's a win-win, and obviously I've had experience myself, and I would just reiterate exactly what Tom has said, to embrace the societies and clubs that universities offer and really go for it. So how many societies would you advise joining, Tom?
There's absolutely no limit. If you wanted to get involved in as many groups as you want, we're not going to stop you. It's good to have a good balance between your academic studies as well as your social life. And that's one of the great things you get from being involved in a student group. They have different things going on at different times of the week, so you start to get into a routine, you start getting a schedule. It's like being in what you'll do when you go into employment afterwards. Some students will focus on one activity or a limited amount, but equally we have students getting involved with 5, 10, even more groups throughout the year, so it's honestly up to the individual.
Fantastic. And why would you encourage students to join societies? Why do you think it's an important part of uni life?
I think alongside a lot of what we've already said and you guys have said, they're just a brilliant way to meet people with the same interests as yourself. You can make friends, try something new, all alongside developing your employability and enhancing your experience overall. You can meet people from different backgrounds, but you all have that common interest, so it makes it really easy to just get on with everyone. You can form a community so easily among them and go on to find other interests that you have in common. It's not just limited to that one interest you have in the group. And like we're going to talk about later, you might find a new interest that you share with other people that's not quite here yet, so you can easily create it and you've got those connections to start with. You can get new experiences you might not have had otherwise. The opportunity to have a positive influence on the lives of others, so you're not just always benefiting yourselves, but you can get involved in volunteering, campaigning, fundraising, and that goes on to help other people. But I think for me it was very much an escape from the academic side. It provides you with skills and knowledge at the same time, so it benefits you without feeling like it's a chore or work. That's how I see it.
Brilliant, thank you. And are you able to join a society all year round, or are you only allowed to join during Freshers' Week?
Absolutely any time of the year. Mostly it happens around Freshers, and we also have refreshers at the start of second term. However, all the groups are on hand any time of the academic year to tell you more about the group. If you're interested, you can just get in touch with them directly and they're more than happy to help you, or get in touch with the university or ourselves in the SU, and we'll be more than happy to put you in touch with them.
Oh, brilliant, thank you. And then on a kind of personal note, what societies did you join as a student?
So I got involved in anything and everything environmental related. That was my passion. I was a committee member on an organic growing society group, as well as one that was related to a botanic garden. But I was also a member of a lot of groups on top of being a committee member. So I was part of Geography Society, which was my academic society. But I also got to get involved in groups that were familiar with my lifestyle. So I was get involved with like veg stock. I would go out climbing. So there's never a limit into the groups you get involved with. But I think the main thing for me was I met so many amazing people through these opportunities. It opened so many doors. And from the connections I made and the experiences I got, it was instrumental in building my CV at the end of my time at university. And I definitely wouldn't be in the job or even considered it without doing student opportunities.
Fantastic. And if you had to say one kind of main thing that being part of a society taught you, what would that thing be?
I would say be brave and just go for the opportunity. Don't wait for it to be handed to you. So many opportunities pass you by, but having people around you to support you and stuff, yeah, just go for any opportunity that comes your way, and student groups definitely helped with that.
Fantastic. Well,
Great.
I'm sure you'll all agree that it's been so beneficial to hear from Tom.
So, yeah, I'd like to thank as well, Tom, for sharing your thoughts with us. And I'm sure they've been really useful to the audience members, to myself. I learn new things all the time. And thank you also, Tom, for putting up a list of societies. You can find them on the chat. There's these links up for the societies that are available in Aberystwyth. There are a couple of questions there, but perhaps we'll leave those until the end. And thank you for asking those questions. Please feel free to do so. I'm going to turn now to Rebecca, who's a third-year student here at Aberystwyth. So, firstly, Rebecca, can you explain to me what does the Animal and Veterinary Society do, please?
Yes, so the Animal and Veterinary Society is an academic society. We hold guest lectures with a wide range of people in the veterinary and animal field, and in addition we have fortnightly social events, both going out and sober socials. We've had themed nights, documentary nights, bingo, and I have to say this carefully because otherwise it sounds awful, de-stressing colouring in, not distressing colouring in socials. We have also taken part in some of the events organised by the student unions, such as Super Teams and Aber Challenge.
So there's a wide variety of activities that you offer throughout the year. I like that de-stressing bit. I feel like that every now and again. So what's your role within the society then, Rebecca?
So I've been a member of the society since my first year of university, and I'm currently acting as treasurer for the society, but I've also previously acted as president.
Okay, so you've had a wide gamut of roles within the society. You've seen all different aspects of it, and how easy is it to achieve those roles then? Do you have to try for them, or is it very formal, or is it something that just happens quite informally then?
I'd say it happens quite informally. I think showing your commitment and dedication to the society definitely puts you in a position where you want to be part of the committee and help with the running of the society. But no, I wouldn't say it's particularly formal or difficult as such. It's just people looking to vote someone in that's got passion for the society and help to run it as the best it could be.
I think you may have answered my next question, and I think Tom answered it in his answer. So why did you join the society? I think we know the answer for that probably, or we can guess it. And secondly, how did you join the society?
So I joined the society to meet others on my course that wasn't just in that formal lecture environment. I also joined as a way of meeting students who were further in their degree than myself. Personally, for me, that provided a really good medium to talk to people about the course who are a bit further on and able to share their experiences, both in regards to the studying and generally about student life. And to answer your second part of the question, I guess for me, joining the society was slightly more unconventional. So myself and a few others restarted the society in my first year of university after it fell apart a couple of years previously.
Okay. What subject you do? Sorry, Rebecca. Can you explain what subject you do as in the relationship then with the Animal and Veterinary Society?
So I study veterinary biosciences, so it's very related to my course. Yeah. But there's also members in the society. Oh, sorry.
No, carry on.
Also members in the society that study completely different things, but just have an interest in animals or veterinary and the field. And there's people that, study a wide range of subjects. You don't necessarily need to study the subject to join the academic society.
Has it deepened your understanding of your veterinary biosciences courses as being part of that society, and deepen that understanding?
Yes, I would say so. I think definitely having several guest lecturers provided a good opportunity to learn more than what we were just being taught in lectures, and also gave a really good opportunity to learn more about the different careers available to us upon graduation. We've had quite a few speakers. We've had speakers from Hill's Pet Foods, one from a local sheep breeding company, and also a local vet. But also beyond the guest speakers, it's been nice to meet up with people on my course or similar courses and be able to discuss aspects of the subject that we are learning in a slightly less formal environment.
And I suppose it gives you context as to what you're learning as well, doesn't it? It gives you, I think Tom alluded to thinking about employability and things like that, and it shows you different avenues where your subject can lead as well, doesn't it? It gives you that context. So would you, silly question then, would you recommend joining a society, Rebecca?
Definitely. I think it's one of the top things I'd recommend when joining and going to university. From my personal experience, I think being part of whether it's sports clubs or societies at university does help just create that general sense of community and belonging when you're at university, as well as opening new doors to different opportunities. And as already mentioned several times, it's a really good way of meeting new people and provides opportunities to gain various skills that, again, you'll be able to talk about on your CV at future job interviews. And it's also, for me, given me an opportunity to network with professionals in the veterinary sector, but also gain better relationships with academic staff that have supported the society.
Excellent. Many thanks to Rebecca for being so honest with your answers and so candid. I'm now going to turn to Olga. So again, thank you, Rebecca. To start, Olga, why did you start or join the Aber Conservation Volunteer Society?
So I joined ACV because I did conservation volunteering before I came to university. So I knew that when I was looking at universities, that volunteering for a conservation organisation was really important to me. So I had it on my sort of pros and cons list. I stalked all of the students' unions of the universities I was looking at So it's like a big tick next to Aberystwyth that there was a conservation group. So as soon as I like had my offer for Aberystwyth, I was like stalking the group on social media and like joining the Facebook group. So it was like firmly something I care about and that I was absolutely gonna join.
So, sorry, can you explain to us what the Aber Conservation Volunteer Society does then?
Yeah. So we go out sort of every Saturday. We aim to go out on task within the local area around Aberystwyth and work with sort of nature organisations, and we kind of we do bits of like habitat management, and we've helped like plant an orchard. We go to the Magic of Life butterfly house every year and like help them because they have to move banana plants inside to protect them from the frost in the winter. So yeah, and then we do like work in the woods sort of opposite the university, like building steps and maintaining paths and all sorts of really practical physical work that's really good fun.
How did you join the society? You said that you were a member. You volunteered before arriving in university. How did you join the society then?
So I knew I was going to join before I went to the Freshers' Fair, but I knew that when I went there, that those were the people I needed to find and talk to, and they told me how to like go on the SU website and buy the membership, and then I became a member, and now I'm a publicity officer, which is really cool.
Obviously, the current pandemic has affected us all. How was the society adapted to the crisis then?
So we were really lucky the first term, because all our activities are sort of outdoors. We could adapt them with like social distancing and masks and hand sanitizer, and we like disinfected all our tools. So we could pretty well carry on as normal in the first semester. And then now, because not everyone is able to be in Aber, we've been running like tasks from home. So every week we think of an activity that people can take part in wherever they are. So we've done like making bird feeders and doing litter picks in your local area. So we've been sort of making sure that there are ways for people to carry on like connecting with nature wherever they are, even though we can't all be together in one big group. But we've still been doing our like Monday night socials like online, and we've been playing games together, so we still all get to see each other, and it's very nice.
So you've adapted to the situation, you've overcome the situation. It's built up some brilliant life skills as well, hasn't it? It showed you how to adapt to that situation. Is volunteering as a student a popular choice? Do you know?
I mean, I'd say it's a popular choice. I know that in our society, the past few years, we've had about 50 to 60 members, which is a lot of people. So I think it's a popular choice, and if it isn't, then it should be.
A good marketing ploy there as well. I can see that you're the publicity officer. That's excellent. Would you advise volunteering at the university? I think I know the answer for that anyway, but would you advise volunteering at the university?
Oh, I absolutely would. It's brilliant. It's like, and with us, it's a great way to like get outdoors and meet people within the student body, but also within the local community, because we work with so many cool people, like volunteers from the council and stuff, and it's such a good way of like learning new skills and exploring the local area. And yeah, it's just so much fun as well. It's like a break from academic work.
I think that's an important aspect as well, is it, that you get to explore life not just academically, but you get to explore it as part of a crowd of people from all different backgrounds, isn't it? And what's the best thing that you've learned since joining the university?
I mean, there are so many things I've learned, like going out with ACV. I mean, I learned how to make an owl nest box. That's pretty cool. I've learned different habitat management, the places we've worked at. But I think the coolest thing is that I know how to sharpen an axe now.
That's a very dangerous skill to learn, I think, isn't it? Or could be very handy as well in many respects. Thank you very much, Olga, again for your answers. As with all the guests, thank you very much for your answers. And I'll transfer you now over to Ellen.
Brilliant. Oh, thank you very, very much to Rebecca and Olga for sharing those points with us. We're now going to speak to Catherine, who decided to create her own society. She definitely saw a gap in the market, to use a business term. So, Catherine, how did you identify that gap in the market to start off with, please?
So basically, all I had to do to see all of the different societies that existed, I just went to the Students' Union website, looked at all the lists of societies, and I was like, oh, there's not the one that I want there. So I thought, well, I'll have to do it myself then.
Fantastic. And, you know, you've kind of just answered this question, but why did you decide to set up this particular society?
Well, I was studying abroad for my second year in Canada, and I started doing improv whilst there, and I met a lot of friends through doing that. And then I came back to Aber for my last and third year, and I thought, okay, I really want to carry on with this, so how can I do it? And then I decided, well, I'm gonna have to do something about it, so I did.
Fantastic. And how easy would you say was it to form your own society?
I think it was very easy, actually. I think also because my society had actually been previously set up, and then it kind of died. I think maybe in my first year, and I'd never heard of it. I think they were called like Funky Fish Society or something like that, that literally has no relation to do with improv. So I was lucky that that happened because I could easily set it up. And then I just needed 2 other people to help me. So I needed to get a treasurer and a secretary. But I know that if it like never existed, you do need to get 10 signatures from people that would be interested in joining the society, and then you can set it up. Tom can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it works.
Oh, fantastic. That's so interesting because I didn't even know that myself. So that is great. Thank you for sharing that. And what sort of skills would you say you needed to set up your society, and how did that experience enhance your kind of general student life at Aber?
I think the sort of skills you need are, well, just the kind of confidence to carry on, really. Like it was difficult at the start because I'd just been on a year abroad. I only knew people from my first year, so there was a whole 2 loads of people, like year groups that I didn't know. So it was just mainly about kind of spreading the word and also persevering. Like my first freshers event, literally like 1 person turned up, and I was like, it's okay, Catherine, you just got to carry on. And I did, and I carried on, and we had about maybe 20-25 people by the end of the year, which I was really proud of.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And, you know, from obviously going from 1 person visiting your stall to 25, that is a huge increase. And that kind of leads me on to the next question of how did you encourage other students to join your society?
So yeah, it was mostly about kind of spreading the word. I knew quite a few drama students already, so I managed to get them involved. But I also made posters. I think we sent a few emails to the different departments showcasing our society as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. And for those among the audience this evening, or for anybody who's thinking of setting up their own society, what would your kind of 3 top tips be for them?
I would say be confident in yourself. Don't give up and just go for it. You know, like Tom was saying, just go for it. And there'll always be people that were probably thinking of doing the same, but they just hadn't got the confidence to do it themselves. And like it does show something that you can do it.
Most definitely. And you know, you in terms of the skills that you learned from setting up your own society, but I know you were also a member of other ones. What kind of skills have you been able to develop, and how have they helped you moving forward?
I think confidence is probably a big one. And then it's like leadership skills and presenting to and managing a group of people, and that's helped me in applying for future things now that I've left uni. And people have mentioned it, like I studied geography, which is completely different to improv, which is like a drama kind of stand-up comedy society. And even though it's completely different to what my degree field was in, people are still interested in what you do in next uni.
Yeah, fantastic. And would you recommend for prospective students to maybe join a society that is completely different to their academic studies?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always just say, like, just do what you enjoy. Like, none of the societies I was involved in were to do with geography. I was involved in all of the drama and music ones throughout my university career, and I love doing it. And I think you should all join improv. But yeah, I think it's a great way to make new friends, and just don't be shy to try something new.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Catherine. Do you have any other comments you would like to share with our audience this evening?
I would just say, throw yourself into everything that is available. Just take every opportunity that comes your way, because you won't regret it, and you'll make friends for life for sure.
Oh, that's brilliant, and that's such a good message to give everybody that's here with us this evening. So thank you so much for your time, Catherine, and indeed thank you to all of the guests this evening who have shared their experiences with us. We're now going to move on to the question and answer session for you guys who are watching to be able to ask any of us a question, obviously within reason, and that is that goes with the society's theme that we're covering. Or if you have any other questions regarding Aberystwyth, then please feel free to drop those into the chat. Dav, do we have any that we can start answering? Sorry,
we've got a lot of questions here. There's first question that popped its head up was, and there's a lot here. So is there a comedy society in Aberystwyth? Tom, is there a comedy? And if not, how can we set one up?
There's not directly a comedy society. Probably some of our groups do branch on it, especially our performance groups, but not any that are directly. And it'd be really easy to set one up. Like Catherine was saying, you need 3 core committee, which is president, secretary, and treasurer, and then just 10 interested members. So just 10 students that would be interested in joining, and that's all you need to set up a student group at Aberystwyth. Really easy, really simple, and you get full support the whole way.
There's another question then from have a look from Luce. And Luce asked quite a few questions actually, so I'll drop the first one in. What's the most competitive clubs? Okay, particularly sport. What are the most competitive ones? Most dangerous one I joined, I said, was water polo, which was lethal. But there we are. I don't want to put you off playing water polo.
So that's kind of hard. And look, all of them are competitive in their own right, and I suppose it depends how competitive you want to be. All sports clubs, a lot of societies are competitive at times, like chess we have, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it just depends on the group, but all groups have varying levels. So a lot of sports clubs will have sessions for those who've never even tried the sport before, and then working their way up to higher skilled levels. So it's open to anyone at whatever level you are.
One question that was asked as well was the do you have to pay to join the societies, and is there a maximum fee for those if you join the societies? Then I think Katrin answered part of the question, one of those questions as well.
So it depends on the group. Each group sets their own membership, and there's varying different membership options from full year membership to half year, termly. Some groups like Animal and Vet do an academic membership as well as just a standard membership. So it does depend on the group. Societies tend to be cheaper than sports clubs. Normally societies are less than £5, if not free. I think the most expensive society we have this year is £15 for the whole year. So it's really, really cheap, and it's probably not much more than the price of a cup of coffee for a whole year.
Brilliant. Okay, can I be cheeky and ask Rebecca, Olga and Katrin, did you charge to be part of your societies?
No. Improv is free.
Nope.
I think
Olga?
we might be that society that Tom's talking about. We charged £15 this year, I think, because generally we need to buy tools and repair tools and minibuses and public transport to get to places. So our fee is there, but it's really, really justified, and you definitely get your money's worth.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant,
animal and veterinary is
and Rebecca?
Animal and veterinary is £5 for a standard membership, and then £2.50 for an academic membership. But then the costs go towards like putting on social activities, and sometimes we pay for transport for guest lecturers as well. So you do get your money's worth, I think. And as Tom said, it is maybe just the price of a coffee or 2 cups of coffee.
£2.50 is not a lot, isn't it? It's I don't know what £2.50 these days. It's and £15 again is a good price to pay. As you say, it goes towards a lot of activity. Let's have a look. A couple more questions. Olga mentioned litter picking. Is it around Aberystwyth?
I'd say that most of our litter picking is like along the seafront, because obviously litter washes up, and it's not necessarily that the students are littery, it's just that that's what happens when you're by the sea, unfortunately. But we had litter picking as like one of our lockdown tasks for wherever you were, and actually we had a lot of people who are in Aber telling us that they went out for their like regular walk and didn't come across any litter, so they were unfortunately unable to take part in that task.
That last picture that we've got on Javier Say there of Aberystwyth and the sun going down now, I think it shows how beautiful a place it is as well to be a student. A question here for Tom, I think. Is there a Dungeons and Dragons Society? Tom has disappeared. Does anybody know if there's a Dungeons and Dragons Society?
Well, I know that there's a fantasy and sci-fi shop.
Okay. Wow.
There is a fantasy and sci-fi society.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. It's. I saw there may be a bit of a lag with my microphone at the moment. And is there a sensible maximum, again, is there a sensible maximum number of societies you should join?
Well, I would say join no more than, because realistically, if you're going to be able to have a balance between your academic work and socialising, probably 2 to 3 is the most manageable amount, I would say. But, you know, Guys, Olga, or Katrin, Rebecca, what would your opinions be?
I personally went a bit mad last year, and I was part of one society and 3 sports clubs. No, if you manage your time, you can fit a lot in. But yeah, I agree with Ellen. 2 or 3 is probably sensible.
And I'd say it depends entirely on what the societies are, because we spend an entire Saturday outside and we also do things Wednesday afternoons. So that's like quite a big chunk of time with one society. But if you're like societies mostly do like evening talks or socials, then maybe you can fit a few more in.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, thank you for that. Do we have any more questions, Dav?
There's just one more question. I think you've answered that question, Rebecca, to be honest. Lucy's asked what the responsibilities of secretary, treasurer, for example, and can you juggle this with your lectures and your studies as well, and how would you do that? Rebecca, if you want to answer that question then.
Yeah, so the secretary is responsible for the communication within the society, both with the SU and with the members of the society, and quite often for the social media of the society as well. And then treasurer is essentially responsible for all the money, all the funds, so the membership fees, whether you're charging and producing, well, not producing, but making hoodies and selling hoodies and that sort of thing. And can this be easily juggled with lectures? I think so, yes. I think at the end of the day, they are voluntary roles. So your lectures and your academic side should always come first, but they're a good way of just having something to do that isn't university work and gaining new skills and experience. And if you manage your time, you can fit in a surprising amount, has been my experience. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you. And so, Ellen.
Yeah, no problem. Huge thanks to you all for joining us for the webinar this evening. We really hope it's been beneficial. And as you can see on the screen in front of you now, if you have any questions that you think about after you've gone away from this evening, then please feel free to send us an email on the address that we've got up on the slide. It's student-recruitment@abed.ac.uk. And yeah, as you can see, we've got our social media platforms there as well. So if you'd like to give us a follow, that would be great. If anybody has any last minute questions, you're welcome to put them in the box. But if not, have a lovely Thursday evening. A huge thanks to our guests for joining us, and thank you very much for coming and for listening to our webinar.